Yes, my name is Sharon Bovat. I'm voice of a moderate, and I'm starting Freedom from Technology. A lot of people I'm so grateful you brought up the Twitter because you brought it up briefly, and then we've talked about infrastructure. But a lot of the people, 70% in a new study of Americans know what the word shadow banning is. The concern amongst the shadow banned is that the boycotters that are calling for a boycott with Elon Musk purchasing Twitter, that they will not be shadow banned because protests that they've done in the past have been shadow banned. They could not make their point even though they had hundreds of thousands of people. So when you talk about it being a free speech issue, it has. A segment of society has been muzzled. Now, what they're saying is the FCC has been brought into the Twitter dialogue. Well, where was the FCC when a lot of people did not have the freedom to tweet? And now that freedom is changing. The people that enjoyed the chance to have their dialogue. Can you please explain that? And thank you.
Yeah, whoever's asking a good question, trust me. Look, I think a lot of people right now, there's been some requests, for instance, that the FCC step in and try to block Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter. There's calls to get the FTC to step in as well. And from my perspective, what we're seeing is not requests for neutral application of competition or antitrust law. We had these letters cite to the Telegraph Act of 1860 and sort of a desperate effort to invoke some basis for the FCC to step in and block a transaction. What I think is going on is a lot of these groups are very happy with the type of political censorship that's taking place right now. They want to try to avoid a pro-speech movement. So I think there's room for people to take action. Again, I think Republican leader Rogers has laid out a game plan. Kevin McCarthy has put together a big tech task force. I think people are very committed to this idea of protecting the digital town square. At the end of the day, Twitter, Facebook, these entities, they have First Amendment rights. And we have to approach this cognizant of their First Amendment rights and the free speech rights of ordinary Americans. We've done this before. You go back to the 1990s, Congress passed the Cable Act. At the time, cable was viewed as such a core medium. You had to be there, particularly for broadcasters, to stay economically relevant. So we took the editorial discretion that cable providers have of choosing what channels to carry, and we regulated that right, and effectively through Musk carry and other things, require them to carry certain channels. I think that's a right analogy for us to look for. You can distinguish the analogy, but at the end of the day, we can respect Twitter and Facebook, their First Amendment rights, their right to speak, but put some common sense pro-speech guardrails in place. And I think that's where we need to head.
All right.